Tinnitus is one of aging's most frustrating and misunderstood symptoms. It disrupts sleep, focus, and peace of mind, and over 25 million seniors live with it every day. Even if you're symptom-free now, there's a 30% chance you'll develop it by age 70. Therefore, this episode is a lifesaver since Japan's oldest doctor will show you 2 fast exercises to stop the ringing in under 30 seconds and 2 daily movements to ease it long-term by improving circulation, alignment, and calm. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where we share science-backed tools to help you stay steady, clear, and independent. Today, we're uncovering how tension in the ears, muscles, and nerves can worsen that inner ringing, and how you as a senior can still reverse it. Because according to Johns Hopkins, tinnitus affects nearly 1 in 4 adults over 65. But it's not always ear damage. It's often stress in the jaw, neck, or nervous system. And when those signals pile up, they can echo through the ears as a high-pitched warning. So, sitting across from me is Japan's oldest physician, someone who spent nearly a century decoding the body's quiet signals. Today, he'll show you exactly what you need. Thank you, John. It's always a pleasure. So before we start, let me ask a simple question to everyone. Have you ever noticed a faint ringing in your ears and brushed it off? It is so easy to ignore, but you shouldn't because it's the nervous system asking for help. Think this is the right moment for you as a listener to share your experience in the comments. Comment a 1 when you have never experienced a ringing sound in your ears, and comment 2 if you have. John, that subtle ringing is one of aging's most overlooked warning signs. As tension builds around the ears and jaw and circulation slows, it starts to scramble the signals traveling through the auditory system. Most seniors assume it's permanent, but today I'm going to show everyone it's not. We'll walk through 2 quick techniques that stop the ringing in under 30 seconds in 2 daily movements to restore long-term calm in the ears. And if you're serious about getting results, I suggest staying with us until the end. It reminds me of a patient, a retired nurse in her 70s with constant ringing that left her tired and unfocused. We found years of wax buildup and deep tissue tension. After clearing her canal and adding your exercises, the ringing eased almost instantly. Within weeks, she felt like herself again. It's remarkable, isn't it? When tension lifts and the nerves reset, everything else can begin to fall into place. And that's exactly where I want to go next. Before we demonstrate the actual exercises, doctor, what reactivates when we stimulate the ears and how does it connect to orientation, mood, and memory? It starts with the nerves, but also blood flow, fascia, and fluid balance in the inner ear. If the canal is blocked even slightly, the signal weakens, like hearing through a wall, so even the best exercises won't help if the ears aren't physically clear, right? Yes. Even thin wax can distort vibration and mimic tinnitus, especially in seniors. And the problem is that most seniors don't realize it's there. And it makes me wonder how much tinnitus is just a physical block. So before we begin, there's one critical step every listener needs to know. Correct. Before we can begin resetting the nervous system, we need to make sure the signal can actually get through. And that means removing the wax buildup that's been muffling the ears for years. So, what's the safest way for seniors to do this? Clear the ears from wax. That's where today's sponsor comes in. Bird, a company known for the safest ear cleaning tools for seniors, specifically the B-Bird EarSight Pro. It lets you see exactly what you're doing without risking damage in the ears. So, how is it so safe? Because this tool has a HD camera, John. It gives you a crystal clear 360-degree view of your ear canal streamed right to your phone. And the soft silicone tips glide gently so there's no pressure. Even seniors with shaky hands or vision issues can use it safely.
That sounds like the perfect senior product. It really is.
They even added adjustable LED lights to brighten the ear canal, and the customer reviews. Seniors saying it's the first time they felt confident cleaning their ears at home, and every senior can get them right. Yes, John, they ship worldwide, and if you order now, you'll get a special 25% discount with our code SHP35. All right, so now that the ears are clear and the signal can actually get through, what's the very first thing we should be doing to start calming this noise? Now that the ears are clear, we can truly begin. But we don't start with the sound, we start with sensation. Because the very first message the nervous system needs is simple. You're safe again. That's a beautiful way to frame it. The body holds on to noise, John. Not just the kind we hear, but the kind we feel. tension in the neck, tightness around the jaw, even stiffness from old posture. All of it feeds the loop that keeps tinnitus alive. So, the very first step is a small release, gentle enough to calm the nerves without overwhelming them. So it's more like easing the system open instead of trying to force the ringing to stop. Exactly. And we begin with a muscle most people never think about, the temporalis just above the ear. It's involved in chewing, but it also connects to deeper pathways that influence jaw pressure and even inner ear tension. When it tightens, it presses inward, and that pressure can amplify the ringing dramatically. But when you soften it, clarity often returns faster than people expect. I've heard patients describe that release like their whole face suddenly relaxes, almost like their thoughts loosen too. Yes, that's the feeling. All it takes is placing the fingertips above the ear, finding the tender band and moving in small, slow circles. Try not to dig or force, just reminding the tissue it doesn't have to guard anymore. And many people notice the ringing drop within seconds as if the noise steps a few feet away. That image, the noise stepping back that resonates deeply. It's a moment of recognition, John. The body feels listened to and it responds with quiet. And once seniors realize their tinnitus can shift this quickly, something inside them opens. Hope, control, possibility, and exercise 2 will be even better. All right, doctor, so let's continue to exercise 2. Tell us the next step. Now that the temporalis has softened, we move a little deeper to the space behind the ear. It's where the auditory nerve travels and where pressure often builds from posture, tension, or old injuries. If we can relieve that, the entire hearing pathway begins to breathe again. That makes perfect sense. So for the second exercise, we use a gentle tapping technique that stimulates circulation and resets the nerve signal. It's often described as a drum beat behind the skull, and it helps the body rank its perception of sound. And what's beautiful is that it's self-directed. No tools, no pain, just your fingers and a little patience. It reminds me of acupuncture, but without the needles, a way of speaking to the nervous system through touch. Exactly. The spot we target is called the occiput. Just at the base of the skull, we apply light suction with the palms over the ears and use the fingers to tap downward gently but firmly. This creates a resonance that the body recognizes. And for many, it's like switching off static. So the ringing actually fades while they're doing it. In many cases, yes, especially if there's nerve fatigue or blocked flow. It's not about force. It's about timing and presence. And if done daily, this small rhythm teaches the brain to quiet the false signal. And over time, even chronic cases can start to shift. That's incredibly reassuring. It gives people back a sense of power over something that often feels untouchable. And that power is the turning point. Once a person experiences change, even just a few seconds of silence, they stop fearing the noise. They begin listening differently, and that alone can change the entire healing process.
So interesting.
Now we focused on muscles and nerves so far, but I have a feeling the next step will take us beyond the ears, because I've seen how the body holds stress in patterns. So what is exercise 3? Now that we've loosened the surface tension in the ears and the base of the skull, it's time to reach further. We have to look at the jaw, the neck, and even the soft fibers along the sides of the head often hold patterns of stress that whisper through the ears as noise. That makes so much sense. The body never isolates anything, does it? Indeed, when those patterns persist, the nervous system stays alert. The ears keep ringing and calm remains out of reach. So exercise 3 isn't about the ear at all. It's about the support structure around it. And when we release that support, the ears suddenly whisper quiet. So how does it work? We're going to focus on the temporal mandibular system, the TMJ area where the jaw meets the skull. It's a common source of tension that many seniors overlook because they think it's just aging. But when you ease that joint, then the nerves around it breathe again, and the auditory system responds. How gentle are we talking? Are we actually doing something with the jaw? Very gentle. Use your fingers to massage the area just in front of the ear where the jaw hinges. Then open and close the mouth slowly, feeling for any stiffness. Hold for 30 seconds, then repeat 2 more times. Over time, this simple motion reduces pressure that often echoes a tinnitus. I had a patient describe it like unlocking a switch. That's exactly the feeling. The muscle relaxes, the joint softens, and the noise begins to fade. Not because we chased it out, but because we gave the body old instructions to relax. Over days, the jaw remembers how to move freely again, and the auditory pathways quiet down. The body stops fighting the whisper. It's been mishearing. It sounds almost like undoing an old habit we didn't know we had. Yes, And the real promise is that once the jaw and ear stop holding on, the tinnitus often softens on its own. It's not instant for everyone, but when it happens, it's unmistakable. It's the moment when you realize the noise wasn't you failing. It was you carrying something your body didn't need to. That's such a compassionate way to describe it. Yes. And when that lifts, the ears don't just stop ringing, they listen again. That's the shift we aim for. Now we've covered 3 exercises, Doctor, and I think each one has been an eye-opener or maybe an ear-opener in this case. Let's move on to exercise 4, shall we? Yes. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone understands something important. As we age, the ear canals naturally narrow, making it easier for wax to build up and harder for sound and pressure to move freely. For these exercises to truly work, the pathway has to be clear. So I want to give a proper shout out to Bird making this possible for every senior by offering a 25% off their latest technology with our code SHP25. You'll find the details in the description and top comment. Amazing. Now let's dive into exercise 4.
Yes.
Now we come to something deeper. The ear is not just a receiver. It's part of a living structure that holds memory, balance, and posture. When we release the last hold on that structure, the ringing often fades because the body itself lets go. And exercise 4 invites us into that space where hearing meets movement and awareness. Okay, tell me more. Now we'll move from local release to full body integration. Imagine narrowing your focus from just the ear to the entire side of the body, from ear to shoulder, through the spine, and down into the legs. When one leg is shorter or one hip tighter, the whole chain reaches up into the skull and vibrates in the ear, so even the legs can affect what you hear. Yes, when posture shifts, so does circulation. And when circulation changes, the inner ear's fluid begins to stabilize. We place one hand on the ear and one on the opposite hip, then bend sideways, slowly feeling the lengthening through the body. It's gentle, aware, and it teaches the system that sound doesn't come with tension, but with ease. It feels like the body's releasing a story it's been holding. How often should someone do this, and when will they know it's working? I would suggest doing it daily for 2 to 3 minutes. The first week you may feel warmth, a sense of space, or even long forgotten or quiet. Just take in mind that change is subtle. Often it's the absence of ringing that first shows you it's working. Once the body senses that shift, itself begins the next stage of healing. And that next stage is where hearing deepens, clarity returns, and presence becomes normal again. So what happens after that stage? If someone has been living with this for years, what's next? Will they feel fully restored? Can the ear really become calm again after decades of ringing? That next stage is often the most meaningful because it's no longer about chasing silence. It's about reclaiming ease in the body. And yes, John, even after decades, the ear can become calm again. I don't think we can overstate how powerful that is. Us the idea that what felt permanent might not be. Before we close, Doctor, could I ask you for a one-liner? Something simple for our listeners to take with them. Of course, the ear remembers quiet. We just have to remind it. And to everyone listening, if this episode gave you hope, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. Leave us with a comment and check the offer of B art in the top comment.